Neglecting safety is one of the chronic problems widespread in our society. As the modern technology is developed and the society is expanded, we can easily find huge construction undergoing in many places. As a consequence, the potential possibility of accident has been increased. We know that we can avoid natural disasters, but we can't avoid accidents. All you have to do is just follow the safety rules. However, because of neglecting such small things, many people, especially in workplaces, are experiencing accidents. Press work is one of the most dangerous works, which often causes fatal accidents such as losing a part of the body or bone fractures. Today we'll have a look at types and structures of the press machineries, accident patterns, accident statistics, related safety devices, and standard safety to improve safety and productivity.
There are many kinds of machineries used in manufacturing plants in Korea. Press is the most widely used machinery in manufacturing metal components of many different products because of its availability and facilities. However, press work contains high potential hazards, and there have been a lot of occupational accidents from the press work. You can say that the press accident is more serious than any other industrial accidents because it causes permanent physical disabilities such as losing fingers or bone fractures.
I can see how dangerous it is just at a glance, but there has been sayings that keeping your fingers on the pulse of an enemy is a perfect way to win all battles. It's quite essential for technicians to learn the exact characteristics of a machine to prevent even a small accident.
The press is a machine to bend, draw, squeeze, pierce, and share products by strong compression with loaded raw materials between molds. So it needs a slider move up and down to compress with molds. If it is operated by oil hydraulic power, it is called an oil pressure press. And if it is operated by mechanical power, then it is called a mechanical press. Between these two types of press, the mechanical press is the most frequently used press. They are divided into two different types, such as friction type and positive type, depending on the type of clutch. Especially the pin clutch press of the positive type causes 70% of the total press accident. Most presses are driven by electrical motors, and a revolving movement of motors is changing to up and down movement of slider for the processing of raw materials by compression of molds attached to up and bottom sides of the slider. The most important part here is a clutch, the power transmission gear. There are two different types of press operation, manual and automatic. Manual operation is to put in and put out material by hands, which are causing the most of accidents by press. On the one hand, automatic operation is to put in and out the materials using a feeder. However, accidents can also occur in automatic operation too. The press is well known as the most accident-occurring machine in all industrial workplaces. As you can see, accidents by power-driven machines are 46% of the total occupational accidents. And all of the 11 power-driven machines, the press and the cutter take 65% of the total, which is about 2/3 of them.
Well, we've just learned the general points of the press, the types, how they work, and the statistics of press accidents. But you always have to keep in mind that it could be a useful machine with safety rules, but it could also be a dangerous weapon, even with a simple mistake. As I've tried before, it's not difficult at all to operate a press, even for a total beginner. Let's find out the reason and the pattern of accidents from this type of press work.
I simply don't feel like there would be any accidents, because it never happened before. When I work, I usually forget about the safety working rules. It's just like a habit. What causes an accident? First, improper use of switching off the safety device for protecting workers are the most common reason of accidents by press. For example, the two-hand control switch is originally operated by pressing both two buttons at the same time. But when changing the function of the two-hand control switch to allowing the workers to operate the press with one hand can cause an accident because the other hand of workers can be positioned at the hazardous area and pressed by the slide. The photoelectric safety device stops the machine when it senses some object in the guarding area. But workers are tempted sometimes to turn it off or even take it off because they think it doesn't help for protectivity. However, in this case of working without safety device, workers are totally exposed to the danger of accident, and there is no way to prevent accident. The sweeping off safety device have weak point of difficulties in securing the view of workers and causing the pains in their hands by hitting by safety bar. So workers sometimes take off the sweeping board of safety device or make the bar short. Workers have to remember they are not allowed to remove anything from safety devices. But if you feel any inconvenience with safety devices, you have to consult with your supervisor for the other way to secure the safety in work. Also, the press have to be interlocked with the photoelectric safety device. Second, there are a lot of accident possibilities when you install, adjust, or disassemble metal molds on press. In this case, the part of workers can be between molds and fatal accident can be happened when the workers or his co-workers operate the wrong button of press. Also, a lot of precautions have to be secured for the unexpected falling down of the slide. Consequently, you have to work on it after setting up the safety block to prevent the accident from unexpected falls of the slider or the metal mold. And foot pedal switches should not be unused when adjusting and setting the mold. Two-hand control switch must be used instead. When you work with your colleagues, you have to reassure the communication signs beforehand to avoid misunderstanding each other. And also, you have to work with the photoelectric safety device on as far as possible.
The most effective way to avoid accidents is maintaining your workplace, keeping them clean and tidy, proper use of safety devices, and following the safety rules and perfect management and supervision. Also, whatever you do, you have to take enough rest for re-energizing yourself for the next work. Since press work is dangerous, taking enough rest is quite important for the better concentrating your safety in work. Now we will learn a couple of methods to avoid the press accidents that we have just seen. Let's check out safety devices for the press.
Safety methods to protect the press workers from the hazards are using safety devices, spare tools, and the automatic feeding system. There are a photoelectric type, a two-hand control type, a guard type, a sweep guard type, and a pull-out hand type for safety devices. And you should choose the right one depends on the type of press work. Then, how to choose the right safety device. You cannot install the photoelectric safety device for the pin clutch press because pin clutch press cannot provide brake systems for sudden stop. In this case, the best safety device is the gate guard type, but if it's not possible to use gate guard, you have to use the two-hand control type or sweep guard type. Also, it is better to choose a safety device considering falling speed of slide. The friction clutch type has the function of sudden stop, so it can use various types of safety devices. But in most of times, the photoelectric type and two-hand control type are used for friction clutch press. However, the best way to secure safety is to isolate workers from dangers. The automatic feeding system is the most safe and productive in this sense, but it still needs a proper safety devices. For example, if a worker is approaching a dangerous spot, the press should be stopped all in the sudden.
Safety should be specific and be considered first other than anything else. So you have to know every single part of the machine that you use, and you also have to find the right safety device depending on the types of press. However, even if you have all the equipment right, but still you have to check out the machine before using it. Now let's learn the other ways to avoid accidents by using hand tools.
If possible, you should use the hand tools. It may not be that much convenient first, but once you got used to it, it will be a great help to avoid accidents and also to improve productivity. If you think of the reason why we use forks and knives at the table, you will understand why using hand tools will be convenient for work. It all depends on how to get used to it. You also have to establish safe working standards and follow the standards. And the supervisor should check the work frequently or regularly.
Finally, let's have a look at an example of the working standards for the manual press work, which is the most dangerous one.
First, the basic of the basic safety rule is to keep the working area clean and tidy. Second, check out each moving parts of the press. Third, choose the right safety device considering the type of the press and work. Fourth, check out whether safety devices work properly before you start working. Fifth, use hand tools as far as possible when you carry materials. Sixth, when you put materials in the machine with your hands, hold the edge gently and place it at the right spot. Then, push the two-hand control button to operate the press. After the slider stops at the highest point, take the product out of the machine and check for the defects. Lastly, clean up the area and place tools at the right spot after work. After making the standard safety rules as you have just heard, workers should master every single step of work by continuing education and training, and supervisors should check the working areas in any time, because only the well-organized working system can improve productivity.
You have learned with me all the different accidents that happen and how to avoid them. But the most important thing is the mind of yours and the managers to secure the safety. If we spend just a little bit more attention and time on safety, we could work in a safe environment and industrial accidents will be a thing of the past. Why do we have to keep these rules? Because it saves your lives and your companies.